Packing for these trips is always a process, but this trip is even more of a process because there's 2 days of trail work and you need to bring good boots, you need to bring some tools. I've got a couple of machetes and a saw with me. I'm trying to cram it all into the setup here, which packaging wise is a little bit tight. Here is the setup. A lot of stuff, some extra stuff. Got a snack, got some wipes. Bye, house. So I'm here in my tent and yeah, night 1. Everyone here that came from my neck of the woods was complaining about how long the drive took because there was a ton of traffic. So interesting, I know. As you do, I left like 2 hours after when I thought I would leave, and packing was way harder than expected. Quick little update. I've been riding for 3 hours, 150 miles, tons of traffic all through Seattle. Everything with the bike setup's pretty good. I got my earplugs in, so I'm just cruising down the highway, just like focused and all that. And yeah, I just stopped here for a little snack, drink some water. Time to keep going. And once I kind of got off the highway through Spanaway, it was yeah, pretty apparent pretty quickly that it was going to be worth it, because the views coming across that part of Washington, it's just a huge forest with like gentle rolling hills. You get an amazing view, and it's all kind of been like logged in places. So you get sections from where it's been logged that you can see out and see the view, and it's pretty cool. I'm lucky to live up here in this part of the world. Got gas at a little town of Morton, little town. So I thought there was gonna be like a ripping rally road to get up here, all dirt roadish. But no, it was beautiful Forest Service, like perfect asphalt. And then it got to a single lane, perfect asphalt road with like mold growing in the middle, very slippery. And there's quite a bit of traffic going both ways, but that's okay. Just scooted on along, and that road was totally chill. Definitely much better than the gravel and dirt roads that I've seen at other ridges in the same network here. And rolled into camp, and lo and behold, there was bikes and campers and people everywhere. So yeah, pulled on in, and everyone's super nice. Howdy. Just kind of find a campsite wherever?
Yeah. There's these 2 trucks here. You can pull behind that Tacoma back there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Behind the Tacoma.
Yeah, I'm John.
Jeff, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Jeff. I love your rig.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Bit of a contraption. It's a few minutes after 7. Everyone's clearly here, and dinner's gonna be ready in a few minutes. So before it gets proper dark out, I went ahead and threw the tent all up, because it's gonna be hard to do that once it is proper dark. It should be a pretty good time the next few days. I'm curious to see what we end up doing.
And hang out and relax once we're done.
Dinner was, I should have got some video of dinner. Some really good pulled pork sandwiches and some dessert, campfire action. And the whole crew is organizing a pretty cool event. It almost feels like a bike race, but it's more chilled out than a bike race, which is pretty neat.
We're trying to start real early. The 1 o'clock shutdown is a hard fact for tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning, we're gonna be up at 5:30, and gotta start trail work by 7, because the Forest Service is nervous that we will start the forest on fire. With all that, I'm gonna hit the sack here. I'm in my tent, and yeah, I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Day 2 trail work camp out here. This was a pretty fun full-on day, and the beginning of the next little bit here. We were up bright and early at 5:30 a.m. I didn't know there was gonna be coffee for everyone, so I made coffee for myself, and it was delicious. Some Remedy Supply Co. coffee. Love that stuff.
But coffee first, yes. Well, second would be make a quick lunch to go, and third would be get organized to rally for some trail work.
Critical part of the day. Can you tell me what you've got in your hand there?
Yeah, a little folding rig.
Folding rig.
Yeah, so extending rig.
Sweet.
And we got little tiny pruning shells.
I love those things. This trail is in some serious grown over status. With a bike, it would have been rideable, sure. But you're just being beaten in the face constantly with the overbrush. And it's not like friendly overbrush, it's like sharp, jagged blackberries and salmon berries and all kinds of gross stuff that you don't want to have to deal with. And if it's wet, you're getting soaked from all the water. It's getting stuck to the bushwork. So we cleared it off. We do about a 4 foot on either side of the trail. Bit of clearing, which ends up creating really nice sight lines, which is cool. Oh, so that's the choke, I see. I did a video about these guys like a week ago. hours into editing and seeing all this stuff in detail. I worked with a fellow named Rez, super cool dude from Seattle, and we took turns on the combi tool and brushing and swamping, I should say. In the distance, you can hear other saws and trimmers going as well. I believe this tool I'm holding is called a combi cutter. It's basically a couple of scissor blades at the end that just jump everything. We're trying to make an 8-foot wide passageway so the horses can fit through comfortably. More importantly, so this doesn't have to get rebrushed again next summer. We're going for 4 to 5 years until the next brushing. So the way this works, just kind of swing this tool around and hope for the best. I'll show you an example.
Step and swing kind of action, you know?
Okay.
And that's like gonna be the energy savings for sure. This is like awesome shit to get back far because this salmonberry grows back.
Yeah.
Which I mean, not criticizing what you're doing.
Should we go further, or is this enough?
I mean,
I can't tell if I'm ruining a beautiful trail or making it better.
I don't think that this shit grows.
Okay.
This shit grows.
Cool.
Like,
cool.
This will grow another like a foot a year. So it's like 5 feet off the trail corridor is five years for us ideally.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'll grab the rake. It's back there.
Yeah, cool. Right back here. I'm mesh.
Man, I missed way more ferns than it looked like. It's hard to tell what's cut and what's just like falling over and not cut yet, but there is some cut in there. So right now we're riding up a little bit further, trying to leapfrog ahead of some of the other crews to find a section that needs brushing. Meanwhile, I'm wishing I could be shrouping through here. Hello. Oh, looking for the most messed up stuff. Oh, thanks. Obviously we go that way.
Keep going.
Thanks. That's just hard to get your attention. So.
Good.
We made the right call by coming up here. This is desperately in need of the brushing, which is exactly why we're here. We'll brush it back, 4 feet either side, and then it'll be perfect for 2 or 3 years. Phew. Thank you. We'll pop up there.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Just us two.
With the 8 or so teams we had going at once, we were actually making really good progress, and it's hard to believe that we were able to completely brush an 8-mile section of trail well before lunchtime. I also hadn't ridden my bike in a few days prior to this, so I was really fired up to do a few wheelies and carve some turns, especially with backcountry setup and the big tires.
Hello. Pardon us, got one more by me.
I so wish I would have got a few more time lapses to show the before and after of this whole process, but you know what? This is my first time trying to vlog one of these events, so bear with me and I'll do more of these next time. After all the teams had leapfrogged all the way to the end of the trail, 8 miles worth of brushing, we watched Remy and Alex cut out this huge 3-foot diameter old cedar, old growth log that had fallen across the trail. And the smell that cedar made as it's getting cut was amazing. And then the thud. That log round falling in the trail. They had to cut 2 separate rounds because it was so big of a tree. One big round would have been too much for all of us to move out of the way. Now, sometimes the best bike rides in life are the least prepared bike rides. It's like a little secret that I'm all about. So we got to the end of the trail, we put down our trail building packs that had our trail building tools and our lunches, and a little crew of us got on our bikes in our work boots and Carhartts and Dickies and just pedaled up the mountain to a little viewpoint. It's not that far, they said. Well, the view was kind of cool. You can see the whole valley. What was really cool is that there was a bigger mountain, bigger viewpoint way above us. So this little crew of Steve and Harrison from Bellingham and I, and then Griffin from Seattle, all 4 of us took off, riding up to the real viewpoint.
There's no way we'll ever miss it.
Yeah. You won't. Because you'll be like, unless you're too cross-eyed, but.
Yeah.
It took us a while to get up there. I'm pretty worked up.
Very typical for this area to find out that it's only another 1,800 feet of climbing to get to where you desperately need to go. This is worth it. Hell yeah. Thanks for the encouragement. Good job, Griffin. This is what I think of when people mention Gifford Pinchot, is like spots like this. Yeah, Scott.
And the view was so worth it. The view is amazing. You can see all these lakes out there, all these peaks. We could see Strawberry Peak, where we'll be working tomorrow. So we were down at like 2,000 feet when we cut out that big cedar log. And then the top viewpoint was around 5,000 feet. So if you're good at math, you know that we did a good bit of climbing today.
What do you think?
Pretty cool.
Yeah. What do you think of the peak, Harrison?
This is fantastic.
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 What was the best part of riding up here today?
There's moisture.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
There is moisture here.
Yeah.
So, and now we get 2,000 feet of down.
Are we supposed to be here right now?
Yes.
Yes and no.
We're meant to be.
Yeah, not plan on it.
How do you feel being up here, Scott?
Oh man, I was 100% out on the ride up, and then I got here and it was all worth it. So, like, this better be a rad viewpoint. It is.
There was a well-positioned escalator up here
Oh my god.
because it went every direction we needed to go. Straight.
45 degrees.
Worth
all
it
the
to
way up.
ride up in the Carhartts.
Yeah. Yeah, Team Carhartt.
On the ride down, I rode behind both Harrison and Griffin, which was fun to film them riding a bit. We drank out of the creek because we had not that much water and no tools and no safety gear or anything, so we were just kind of roughing it. We had a blast. It's like totally unprepared, but totally sweet. Oh, super cool. Good dudes, good times.
Yeah, that's us.
So while it might not be obvious in the video, I'm actually wearing a pair of old Rockport work boots. Yes, they are waterproof. And at this point, they're so worn out that the lugs on the tread are worn down enough that I can actually get traction with my Shimano pedals. It works out pretty nice.
Switchback.
Occasionally in this trail network, you will end up at really high speeds, around 30 miles an hour, maybe 50 kilometers an hour, and then you'll find a very tight hairpin switchback. Yeah, you really gotta be on your toes out here. Oh, almost. Oh. It's been out here a few hours. I think it's time to make some more electrolytes. The last year or so, I've been lucky enough to partner with the guys over at Element who make a really simple electrolyte mix. All this stuff is potassium, sodium, and magnesium. A little bit of stevia extract, super yummy. And what this does is it replenishes all the electrolytes you sweat out on hot summer days like this right here. Generally, when you've sweated out your electrolytes, you start to notice the beginning stages of dehydration, like a little bit of fatigue. You might get cramps. You might not sleep that well at night. And a supplement like this, like Element, will really help replenish your natural electrolyte levels. So big thanks to Element for their support. For a limited time, Element's giving viewers of my channel a free sample pack with any purchase from their website. And to take advantage of that limited offer, you can use the link in the description down below. It's drinkelement.com/Jeff, Jeff. I've been using this stuff for about a year now, and I've gone through one bottle so far today, and I'll probably go through another before we make it back out of the woods. Today's flavor is orange. It's pretty good. Thanks, Element. I try to keep this channel pretty family friendly, but you know what you say after a really fun descent?
Holy shit!
That was sweet.
Oh,
Dreamy.
That was fast. That was sweet.
yeah. You guys are going way faster than I would.
Pretty good for manuals, actually.
Thanks. I'm working on them.
So I'm very well aware the video quality here is not the best. I'm using an old GoPro Hero 8, and in the low light conditions with the stabilization turned on, it really struggles. I've bumped up the brightness as much as I can in the editing software, but yeah, I'm aware it's not probably the best GoPro footage to watch. So I'd never met Harrison, who I'm following here, prior to this trip. However, I've definitely seen him around Bellingham. He's a recent graduate of Western Washington University, and he just landed a job within the bike industry. Harrison's a huge fan of backcountry rides like these right here, and he's been down to this neck of the woods several times prior.
Oh, don't catch your head on the tree.
It was a lot of fun riding with Harrison, and I've got quite a few mutual friends in common with him too, so it's also fun hearing about all those stories.
Oh, that's a nice kicker. Here, Griffin, hop in the front. I'll follow you.
All right.
Boy, swap around.
So young Griffin here just graduated from high school. You also notice he's wearing Carhartts, much like me too. That's what you do on trail work days.
Oh, here's the creek. No, it's just, this is the small one.
Griffin's actually more into skiing than he is into mountain biking, but I had a lot of fun riding with him because check out his style. Yeah, keep those knees in, hit those jumps, and occasionally throw in a manual.
No problem. That's a nice little natural hit.
This section here is a great example of how fast these trails can get. Yes, you're still in a forest, but all of a sudden trail speeds really get going into the 30-mile-an-hour range. And while it can be scary, it's also kind of exhilarating at the same time.
Nicely done. Oh, sweet.
Thanks.
As I keep mentioning, we didn't have any of our regular riding gear with us, no hydration packs with first aid kits, none of that, so we didn't have a whole lot of water. I don't think we're gonna get too sick, but we did go ahead and drink a lot of creek water while we were out in the forest.
It's like electrolytes.
Yeah. Still got a little bit.
Yeah.
Here's a quick guide to my humor.
Step 1, explain. Step 2, no one laughs.
If I had to pick the kind of trail that I most enjoy, it's something kind of like this here. Not crazy steep, not over-the-top technical, but you can ride it so many different ways. Check out how more cross-country oriented Harrison rides the trail versus myself, as I'm a little bit more of a hucker.
How was it?
Oh, sick. Job, Harrison,
awesome.
Griffin. Yeah, Scott. Phew. Sweet.
Thanks for it, guys.
Thanks for the lap, guys.
Once we got down that fun descent, we got to the trail back up the river, back to camp, and we found Bennett with a broken axle on the rear of his bike, a through axle.
Bennett here has a bike, and unfortunately the through axle, which normally through axles are amazing until they're not. Through axle snapped on the drive side just behind the thread. So I've had this happen before on several other bikes, several other types of through axles. I stuck my Lesign multi-tool right into the through axle, strapped it down with some Velcro, and then I happened to have a volet strap for the tools, pinch the rear end together, and now Bennett will carefully try to not die and get out of the woods. Yeah, this wouldn't be such a big deal, but we are like 7-8 miles from the other end of the trail, and there is like 800 feet of climbing between us and the other end, so we're a bit out there. It was fun when you get to MacGyver something. Highlight of my day right there, to be honest.
Fair enough.
And when you break a rear through axle, you can't pedal because your wheel just pulls right into the chainstay. So your bike is basically a walking ornament.
Yeah, it broke on the drive side, so we just jammed a 5mm through the broken nub into the good bit, and then straps on all 3 corners.
That's sweet. I was bringing I was gonna ride out however far you guys were with a DT Swiss. Actually, I don't know.
Oh, the RWS.
Yeah, I don't know if it would have worked.
I think something happened.
Yeah.
I mean, we would have stuck something through it. Did you snap on you heading uphill?
Down. I was right at the junction of Vanson. So at least I got a nice downhill ride in.
And that truck ride spared us 10 more minutes, and I was ready for it. I was tired. We got back to camp.
John, where are you from and why did you come out here?
I'm from Pennsylvania, and I came out here just for the Trans-Cascadia.
Well, so people hear Trans-Cascadia, a lot of us around here think the race, but have you done any racing?
No, just for the trail building.
Just for the trail building?
Just for the trail building.
And I remember you mentioned you saw it on Pink Bike.
Yeah.
Like, what went between, so you see the article, and then you end up here. What happened between there and now?
Well, I was going to get involved as like med support last year, 2021, and I was getting married like a month after the race, so I was like, it's a little tight. So I wanted to do it again this year, and there was no race, but there was trail work, so I signed up. A ton of fun, and great people, and great food, and
cool.
Great atmosphere, and freaking party.
These guys have come the closest of any trail group I've seen to connect those dots for the public that we can,
no doubt, yeah. I recommend it to anybody.
Cool. Well, have a safe flight back to Pennsylvania tonight.
Appreciate it.
Cool.
Thanks so much.
So cool to see that people are flying across the country to come to these. This is a pretty cool event. All right, we had a wonderful dinner, good campfire, and now I am zonked. So, all right, guys, I need to go to bed. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Peace. Day 3 of the trip, day 2 of the Trans-Cascadia work party. Totally super fun day. So it wasn't as early a start as yesterday. Yesterday we're up at 5:30 today. Relaxed 7 a.m. coffee start. Today's goal was, again, trail work most of the day, and then a little bit of riding when we're done working. And that's actually a pretty cool day. So wake up, have a great breakfast, hang out, coffee, campfire, all the good camping stuff. And today's goal was to head up towards a ridge. I was on team 1, which was working uphill, so no one wanted to sign up for team 1, so let's do the things.
A corridor with a bunch of alder or vine maple that's probably the section that you need to rework, or if you haven't already got there.
And we were heading up this trail that had been brushed like 5 years ago. So all the overgrowth had encroached quite a bit on the trail corridor. And like, it's the kind of thing where you're looking at it and you're like, it's not that overgrown. But what you don't realize is when you come down that trail, it's super straight, so you're hauling the mail. Multiple times I was going like close to 30 miles an hour. And when you're going that fast, you need some space. So it's hard to say like from a picture or a video, like, oh, that trail's way too opened up. Like, no. I was working with Jonathan primarily today, and we ended up as kind of the tail end. I was using the hand tools, he was using the power trimmer, and he would cut brush back, and then I would use the rake to get everything off the trail and off to the side, or I would grab my machete and I would lop off various overgrowth or whatnot. And then I had a little hand saw, which worked so good, so I'd cut down little trees and stuff. We had 2 crews in front of us. We would just kind of be the final bit of cleanup and make sure everything was opened up, and we generally like doubled the amount of stuff. What are you looking at, Jonathan?
Checking out that little lake down there. Pretty. So pretty.
Oh, it's right behind this damn tree I'm sitting in front of. Professional, and am I not? Oh, now I went too far. So yesterday we were cruising down through that. That was the Green River. We were brushing that trail out, getting some deadfall. And then we rode up to the peak up there. That's Vanson Peak, I want to say. And another crew went up a trail there and rode the ridge before coming down. So it's pretty cool to be just to the, I guess, to the east of all that and seeing it from a different vantage point today. Onwards, upwards, and maybe trim a little more. Create some pretty unique terrain around here. Bits will be old growth, 1,000-year-old trees, and bits will have no trees. But by this point, Jonathan and I had made our way all the way to the top, bumped into the other team that was coming down from the top of the ridge, and they had transitioned into dirt work, into re-benching the trail, which was kind of falling away. And hello, we recognize you.
Yeah.
Benching?
All kinds of stuff, dude.
Fun.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. Just tuning up these little catch firms right here. Giving them a little more. Not like it needs it, but go from shred to even more shred.
Sweet.
Yeah.
We transitioned to machetes to go brush out a bunch of the huckleberries. And A, it's very challenging to cut down huckleberries with a machete because it just bends, it doesn't cut. And then 2, the bees were waking up in a big way, and I got stung right inside my bicep and then right in the face during that afternoon brushing session. And these things are the thing where you get stung once, twice, no big deal, but the venom accumulates in your body, and before you know it, you get that final sting, and all of a sudden you start having an allergic reaction. So I wanted to. The bees are getting intense down there.
Really?
I just got gotten in the face after getting gotten in the arm an hour before, so.
Where do you hit in the face?
Mostly like benching and dirt work.
Yeah, just like this, right here. This was out here before. Little narrow ribbon.
Bigger ribbon.
Bigger ribbon. Yeah.
Cool. Jameson.
Hello.
Greetings.
How's it going?
Good.
How was your day?
Good.
Once we made it to the top, we headed out along the ridge, kind of in a northwards fashion, mostly uphill.
That is the view. Nice.
If you've ever come across an absolutely incredible alpine peak in your life, you know exactly what this right here feels like.
Nice.
Nice. Back off a little bit.
Want to lead it out?
Man, the brief little bits of downhill were such a treat. Holy cow, those trails, like the dirt is nice and fluffy. The views are amazing. We can see all the trails we've ridden here in the past from that ridgeline. And just, I was feeling kind of froggy. I was on my Ripmo AF with wide tires, 2 6s, threw some manuals in for good measure. And it just feels so good to be back on this bike. This bike with these tires here is such a home run.
So here's a section of Washington State alpine trail riding. The dirt composition is absolutely amazing. Just soft enough, you can get plenty of traction. Just rough enough, you're not bored. And you know what? This time of the year, while it is bone dry, we have like another month to look forward to a shoulder season where it gets just all that much more tacky and extra nice. After a 3,000 foot climb, this is exactly the reward you're hoping for. And as they like to say, if you've only got one trick, be sure to go ahead and do it everywhere.
Jonathan and I basically rode back, rode with some friends a little bit, and then I dropped in solo. Everyone else had gone off the front. I had to get GoPro batteries swapped out, ate a sandwich. I think this right here is one of my longest wheelies in this entire trip. It really hit the spot for the energy, the mood, the view, everything that day. Right around the corner, everything opens up quite a bit more. This is something that the Mount St. Helens volcano cleared off and removed all the trees from the mountains in this region and created this crazy kind of dirt. Oh. My crew just dropped in right behind me on the trail we worked on. Goes way down there. That's the ridge we were on yesterday. And I look out this way and I see this amazing ridge running from north to south. I did a video on some e-bikes a while back riding over there. And there's another ridge even further back that we shot the day before that. So it's cool to see places I've ridden before from a whole different context, just to get more appreciation for how far they really are and what a cool spot they are. So this is a pretty neat spot. It's fun to be riding bikes up here. Ah. Holy crosswind Batman. That's cool. If you enjoy videos like this one here, I want to take a quick moment to let you know that I also make riding tutorial videos, only you won't find them on any of my public facing pages. Every month, I post a full riding tutorial only to my Patreon page. Recent topics include how to sprint without pedaling, how to ride smooth, how to ride flat corners, and how to jump found gaps. Currently, there's over 40 more additional tutorials. For only $7 a month, not only will you have access to all of these videos, but you'll have my everlasting gratitude for being a big part of how I'm able to make all the content that I do. Thanks for watching, and thanks for all of your support. It means more to me than I could ever describe. I ended up doing most of the descent by myself and still had a super fun time. That trail is fast. All right. Whoa. You can go fast down this should you desire. And that right there is a full 2-tire slide through the turn. Part of our work party was up here. Whoa, oh my gosh. Tone it back a little. There is a little bit of debate on how much to actually cut back the brush on these trails. Generally, with how fast and straight these trails are, I'm kind of the favor that we should go ahead and clear them back pretty far to have those good sight lines. Not only is it safer if there's uphill backpack or horse traffic, because we're gonna go pretty quick, it's actually a lot more fun to ride down it if you can kind of see where you're going. So I think we did pretty good work up here. Nice. So in case you're all wondering what that thing is that's strapped to my bike, that's actually a giant machete axe strapped business side up along the top tube. I know it seems sketchy, but I do have it pretty well attached and that sheath is gnarly, so luckily nothing bad happened. So this is all ash and pumice from the volcano. Mount St. Helens erupted a while ago. The dirt here is very unique because of that volcanic eruption. It kind of looks like it's going to be super dusty, but there's a little bit more holdup than actual mid-summertime dust like we have here in the northern part of the Pacific Northwest. It's a very unique feel, and it works out pretty darn well. That was a good turn. 2-tire slider. Whoa. One thing I love about these trails is how straight and high speed they actually get. This isn't very common anymore. However, you do have to stay on your toes, as like I mentioned yesterday, every now and then you can rip roaring right into, I was fast into that switchback. Wow. And see how nice it is in this section where we did quite a bit of brush work? I can actually see down the trail and know for certain there's not another human coming up the trail, or a bear, or a deer, anything like that. So overall experience, much improved. Caught everyone at the bottom and rode down with Jonathan a bit, and yeah. This has got to be us.
And we had yet another 30-mile-per-hour single track on our descent back to the camp.
Sweet. Good job, Jonathan. Thanks for all the help.
That was great.
That was good. Howdy.
How's it going?
Good, thank you.
Check out this hunter that was sharing camp with us. Super interesting.
Are you bow right now?
No, muzzle loader.
Muzzle loader. Cool.
Okay. There's only 2 of us in this entire unit.
Wow.
Okay.
12 years to get the tag.
Wow.
Well,
Wow. For muzzle.
Well, congratulations on making it.
It's better than the moose tag and the goat tag.
Yeah.
It took 23 years and 22 years.
Cool.
Rode right into camp where the Schwalbe team is putting fresh Schwalbe rubbers on everybody's bike, free of charge. So that's amazing. These guys are able to get enough industry support that they don't have to charge volunteers to come and trail work.
What's for dinner?
Polenta cakes,
Polenta cakes.
roasted vegetables, meat sauce, and the vegetable sauce because you take both. Cheese, breadcrumbs, little red peppers.
Wow.
Pretty good. Salad, and then another salad. Vegetable salad, leaf salad.
You trail work your way up, and then you ride your bike down, same day. And then they feed you, you get a free set of tires, you have a great time. Super cool model here, and I think it'd be cool to apply that to other parts of the country. Had a delicious dinner. I volunteered to do some dishwashing tonight.
Do this without you guys. It's an organic community that just keeps rolling around. So thank you so much.
And we just want to say thanks for everyone coming out. It's one of those things where we can't do it by ourselves. We've actually tried quite a few times and we don't get the same amount of work done. And what we love about it is like it started around this like kind of bike race. A lot of people thought it was like a bike race, but we've always been more than the bike race. And even today we went and worked on Norway Pass and out towards Mount Margaret. And we'll never race that. They'll never let us race it, but we don't care if they'll let us race it or not. We want to ride it and we want the community to ride it. So we open up stuff like that so that everyone can enjoy it, not just the courses that we plan to race or not race. This year we don't even have a race.
Gripping footage of fire.
Beautiful out. It's gonna be a sick day.
What are you doing today?
Going for big pedal. Big pedal. Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
Good ride, guys.
And for the grand finale, the day I was most looking forward to, the ride day. On day 3 of the official event, we all signed up for various ride destinations, and I kind of missed the ball on heading out with the group, so I chased after another group to do a loop that I'd really enjoyed.
Hello. How are you, Logan?
Now, the night before, I attempted to do some GoProing, and I had changed all the settings, and you might notice how jerky the footage is here. And here.
What's up, guys?
And here. Yeah, I changed the settings, and I forgot to change them back, and I thought the quick capture mode would not be affected. I was wrong. So, yes, I buggered up some of the best GoPro I could have had in my entire life by trying to get yet more GoPro the night before that probably wouldn't have been that interesting in the first place. So, luckily, I do have a few drone shots that are kind of fun, but once again, the drone wasn't working and it got all sweaty and full of condensation in my backpack on the climb up, so the first shot was pretty poor. But that's all right. We don't let the internet get in the way of good bike rides. I've been meaning to ride at this fellow, Logan Wetzel, for years now. He's a Bellingham local. Apparently, Logan and I actually crossed paths in the race scene many years ago, and I just kind of didn't remember. But we had a blast riding together. Logan is a good dude, and he's super fast on 2 wheels, and I had a lot of fun riding with him. I also pulled off one of the coolest manuals in my entire life, right on his back tire, through about 6 of these single-track corners.
That's fun.
And yes, the GoPro footage is absolutely awful. However, that's okay. The memories are forever, and they were amazing.
You're in a single speed?
I am now.
What broke?
What happened?
Shifter shot the bed.
Oh.
Yep. I managed to sneak it into like, somehow I just found a couple of little upshifts it would go. I was like, all right, we're like 3 or 4 from the top. Just gonna roll it here and see what it can do. Yeah.
You'll be able to do.
And with that, we were back at camp, and it was time to frantically pack everything up and head back across the state of Washington to get home. I went ahead and checked myself off the list, returned safe back at 3 p.m., checked off some other folks that were with me, and tried to load everything up as quickly as possible.
Have a good one, guys. See you later.
As any good motovlogger would do, I tried to get a good finale shot of riding out of camp. However, you might hear something. Yes, That's my bike lock that fell into the rear wheel and got sucked around the hub. The remainder of the ride home was actually pretty smooth. This new motorcycle, the KTM 890 Adventure R, is a fantastic off-road bike. However, I normally have it set up with a mountain bike on back, a rack, and all my camping gear, which is about 100 and change extra pounds of weight, so it doesn't handle very well when I've got it set up for my needs. I actually end up road riding on it far more than off-road stuff. Regardless, this is a really good bike even if I'm on the interstate. I went ahead and used the cruise control feature quite a bit, and I played with the windshield a little bit to get the wind buffeting sorted out. I still use the street helmet, and at this point, with most of my miles being on the street, I feel like it's probably the best choice. I have to wear earplugs, and then I've got a Cardo Pack Talk free-comm system thing to try to listen to some music and podcasts on the way. I also listen to a lot of Audible books while I'm on the motorcycle, and it's a pretty good way to pass the time. I want to thank you all for watching, and I think it's really cool what the Trans-Cascadia crew is doing with these work party weekends. I really want to attend some more of these. We'll see how this video does. We'll see how my schedule looks, because there's another one coming up that I would love to go to. Big thanks to all of you for watching this. Thanks to Element for their support. Thanks to Jensen USA, Industry 9, P&W Components, and thanks to my supporters over on Patreon who watch my monthly riding tutorials. Alright guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you at the next work party. Peace.